Between a smartwatch and a smart ring, which one should you pick and why? In this video, I'm going to try my best to explain to you guys the pros and the cons of these different smart devices, and hopefully that helps you pick any one of them if in case you're conflicted as to which one you should pick and why you should pick them. Before I go into talking about the cons and the pros of a smartwatch and a smart ring, I'd like to say that I'm using the Wearable Watch 5 Lite and the ITO Smart Ring for this video. And these results are not the same for all of the smartwatches and smart rings out there. These are going to be the basics of what these things can give to you. There are other smart rings out there that can give you more functions than the ITO smart rings, and there are other smartwatches out there that can give you more functions than the Oraimo Watch 5 Lite. But generally speaking, these are the basic functions that these two things have, and these are how you can compare them to each other, just so we are out there, and this is just so you know that this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm comparing with. I'm going to start with the smartwatch, and I'm going to explain the pros and the cons of the smartwatch. So let's start with the pro. Let's start with the con. Or let's start with the pros. So the pros of a smartwatch obviously is you get a screen which allows you to see your notifications and help you know who's reaching out to you and why they're reaching out to you. You also get a lot more function with a smartwatch in terms of your exercise. You know, you have things like jogging, running, skipping, and a few other things that you can do with your smartwatch. You're able to get other functions such as your calculator. You can sometimes use your smartwatch to control your camera app to act as a shutter button. You can also use your smartwatch in some cases to be able to track your menstrual period for ladies out there. And you can use your smartwatch again to receive mails, reply mails. You can also use your smartwatch, you know, to be able to return calls or make calls as well. And these are a lot of the pros you have with the smartwatch. There's also another pro, which is you can change your aesthetics of your smartwatch. So if you don't like the rubber grip or the rubber band, you can change it to a leather band or to a steel band, you know, to make kind of suit, you know, your vibe for the day. Now, what are the cons of a smartwatch? And one of them definitely is the fact that battery life on smartwatches are not that great. On smartwatches, battery life are not that great. The max you will get for smartwatches are what, a day or two life. And I understand this is because of the fact that they have a screen, and that takes a lot of the power, you know, that consumes the battery. But then again, you don't get a lot of battery life for that. Another thing that is a con for a smartwatch is the convenience. It's not always convenient to wear smartwatches, and sometimes they don't also always suit your aesthetics. You know how you want to look a particular kind of way, you want to look old school, you want to look chic or classic. In those case scenarios, you want to get a regular watch, you want to get a mechanical watch or a chronological watch, or a watch that has side movement, mechanical movement, or quartz movement and stuff like that. This may not always fit into that category or into that style of dressing. And of course, if you're wearing a smart device because you're trying to track your sleep, you obviously cannot sleep with this, so it makes it uncomfortable, it makes it unpractical to be able to use this to track your sleep. And then again, another con is I had a smartwatch one time that I broke because I took it to go play tennis, and somehow my racket hit the screen and the glass shattered. That is another con of a smartwatch. As much as it has a lot of features you can use to track your sports activities, it's not always safe. Sometimes you could damage them. Sometimes you could go as far as, you know, go into your swimming pool and they're not waterproof, and you kind of forgot they're not waterproof, and you know, you kind of damage the smartwatch. Now let's talk about the pros of a smart ring. A smart ring obviously is very convenient. One of the pros is the size. Because it's very small, you can have this on you and not even know you have this on you. As a matter of fact, I remember showing this to a colleague and he asked to see it, and the moment he held it in his hand, he was like, this is very light. And I'm like, yeah, it's very light. Size is one of the benefits of a smart ring. It doesn't inconvenience you in subtle ways, you know. And if for some reason what you're getting a smart ring for is to track your sleep, track your walks, your walking step, you know, counting your steps and your heartbeat and stuff like that, these can do that for you as well. This is more convenient or more comfortable to sleep with, as you would barely feel you have it on you. Another pro of having a smart ring is the battery life. Now, while a smartwatch will last you about 2 days to 3 days, a smart ring can easily go for a week without charging it. And then again, I understand because it doesn't have a screen, and so that does not consume more battery. But who cares? It goes 7 days, and it goes 7 days. And another benefit again of a smart ring is that for some of us who do not like getting distracted sometimes, so for instance, you want to go to an event and you don't want to be distracted by the buzz that come from your smartwatch, because you get message from Twitter, you get message from Instagram, you get from LinkedIn, Telegram, and the rest of those social media platform that's out there. A smart ring can help you rectify that, because while you still track your steps, track your heartbeat, and monitor your blood pressure, you don't get those distractions that you get with a smartwatch. So a smart ring can help you cut down on distractions and help you be more fit focused, as opposed to always look at the screen 247, because you get notifications and getting distracted from stuff you're doing. What are the cons of using a smart ring? So one of the major cons obviously is the fact that you do not get notifications, and I know this is me going back and forth with this and that, but with a smart ring you most likely would not get notifications from your messages. So if you have your phone in your pocket, you would most likely feel that vibe or that buzz, or you get a message, but you wouldn't know who's texting you or who's calling you. So you kind of have to bring out your phone, to be able to figure that out. And for some people, that could be a con. They want to be able to see who's calling them. They want to be able to respond to messages. They want to be able to reply, text people and call people as well. Another con of a smart ring is that it's not independent. So a smart ring depends on your phone to function. Some smartwatches they don't need your phone to function. They can function on their own. They have GPS and they have satellite connection. But for a smart ring, you want to have your phone always around, so you can be able to track and check your statistics. Without your phone around you, chances are you would not be able to use it in its full capacity, because there is no way to monitor what it's doing, as there is no screen to it. Then another con of a smart ring is limited functions. So smart ring cannot do as much as smartwatches can do. Like I said, you don't have the ability to be able to control your camera shutter from this particular device. You don't have the ability to be able to check your time, check your calendar, check your menstrual period, from this device. So you're limited to what you can do. The most of the things you can do here is just to track strictly health benefit and or health statistics. You can do a lot of other functions out there. So that is one con of a smart ring. Which one should you pick, really? Now, the answer depends on what you need. If you're more health focused, if you're more focused about your statistics, your heartbeat, how well you sleep, if that is the major thing you're concerned about, then I advise you to get a smart ring, because that can do that pretty well. And again, because it's comfortable, you can sleep with this. You can put this in your finger and forget that you even have it there, and you can track all of your steps, and track everything that pertains to your medical life. So if that's what you're concerned about, then I think a smart ring is what you should be looking for. But if, on the other hand, you want something that would act as a fashion statement, something that can allow you receive calls, return calls, check who's calling you, check your emails or return your emails, and give you some other additional functions out there to make your life a bit more easier, then I obviously advise that you do a smartwatch instead, as opposed to a smart ring. For me personally, I have both of them and I use both of them, but I find that I mostly use these during the daytime. And I use this both day and night, because it's a ring. It just slips into my finger and I forget it's there. I only take it off when I have to charge it, which is like once a week, and that is the only time I take it off. But these are basically the difference. And like I said, you get to pick based on what you need them for. And again, if you're confused, you can just have both of them. You can have the both of them. There's nothing wrong in having the both of them. And yeah, that is what I think, and that's the difference between these two great smart devices out there. So there you have it, guys. Smartwatch and a smart ring. Which one works best for you? Which one should you pick? And that's pretty much all I can say about that. That brings us to the end of this video. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Would you go for a watch gang, or would you go for a smart ring gang, or would you go for a collabo gang? Let me know what you think, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.